Well, the celebration of the Solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity, one of the most difficult mystery to understand with our human senses and our human brain. Well, we know God is spiritual, pure spirit. And we are physical human beings. Our senses are limited. Our brain is limited. But still, we can understand a lot of physical realities around us. And we think we can see and understand practically all physical realities. But the truth is very different. And I'll come to that. So it is so hard for us to see or understand a lot of physical things around us. How difficult it would be to understand something purely spiritual with our own human sense and our own human brain. Can you all see light? Do you all see light? Light? Can you all see light? Of course, you may need a glass sometimes, but you can see light. But how much light can you see? How much light can you see? The light is actually electromagnetic radiation. I'll be a bit scientific today, okay? We'll be a scientist today. So light is electromagnetic radiation. The spectrum starts there with radio waves, and then microwaves, then infrared rays, then the visible light that we call the 7 colors from red all the way to violet. Then comes ultraviolet rays, then comes X-rays, then comes gamma rays. So the spectrum is that much of the light in which it's from 700 nanometer to 400 nanometer. That's where the visible light stays. So we can see only in that spectrum only 300 nanometers. The rest of it is there, but we don't see. For example, you go outside at night, all the other light is there. We don't see, because that's not up to our eyes to figure it out. It's out of our limit. It's physical reality, but we don't see. How much sound can you hear? We hear all the time, right? How much sound can you hear? Well, sound, the pitch of the sound, and of course the loudness of the sound. If you take the pitch of the sound from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, that's our limit. Anything below 20 hertz is known as infrasound. Anything above 20,000 hertz is known as ultrasound. We don't hear infrasound or ultrasound. We can hear only that much. And if we count the loudness of sound, it is measured in decibel. We can hear from 0 to 85 decibel. Of course, we can hear the louder sound, but it may destroy your hearing. And if it is really loud, it may even kill you. Sound is a reality, but we can hear only to a certain extent. Light is a reality, we see only a certain extent. That means we are physical beings, and our difficulty to understand physics is still limited with our own senses. How hard it is going to be to understand the mystery of Trinity. How do we understand the Trinity? With our brain, it may not work. With our senses, it may not work. So how do we understand? I think the best way to understand Trinity is to understand the relationship of the Trinity with the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The relationship is, or in other words, we say the same substance, consubstantial, right? The same substance. I may make you sleepy, but at the end I will wake you up. Don't worry about it. So, same substance. The love between the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit is so powerful that they feel united fully in one substance all the time. At the same time, the mutual respect between the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit is so powerful that the individuality of each person is respected. Love so powerful, they are one. Mutual respect so powerful, they are three. Now I am trying to take the understanding, the one substance, the love that unites them, the mutual respect that keep the individuality of Trinity into our human levels. Trying to understand humanity. We all belong to the class called Homo sapiens, right? Yes. You like it or not, a lot of people do not like to talk about certain things. Because we live in a time called post-truth time or era. That means now, in the past, we like to talk about truth, we like to talk about facts. But now in this time, it's not about truth or fact, it's all about emotions and opinion. So I do not belong to that group. Therefore, I will be talking truth. If it is going to offend you, I'm sorry. Human beings. We all belong to that one family called Homo sapiens. Where did that start? It started in Africa a long time ago. Every single human being who lives in this world has got in their cell something called mitochondria. It's common in every single human being. It's in your cell that actually controls the growth of your cell. The energy provides energy to your cell. It's like a small bacteria lives in your cell. It has its own DNA that's known as mitochondrial DNA. If you go back in time, you will see a woman who lived in Africa some 150,000 years, 200,000 years ago. She had the same. It's from her we all receive. It's actually not found in the sperm, so you get it from your mother. The maternal, if you go through from your mother to all the mothers back, it will take you all the way there. On the other side, that mother is known as the mitochondrial Eve, not the other Eve of our Bible, okay? It's a bit different. On the other side, or the male or the sons receive Y chromosome from their fathers. And that Y chromosome for our species, common in all the male, goes all the way back to a man who lived in Africa somewhat the same time frame, 150,000 years to 200,000 years. It all came from that place. It all came from those parents. What does it mean? It means we all belong to that one common ancestor. Now coming to the color or facial differences, physical structure or hair structure. Why the difference? Of course, last week I was working in the gardens in Elizabeth with Alice and Kenny Oligschlager. And I asked them, we were talking about the sunlight and vitamin D and all those things. So I just, for fun, I asked them, do you know the difference of time that you need to get enough vitamin D and I need to get vitamin D? They did not have an answer. But I said, for Alice and Kenny Oligschlager, it will take 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight to make enough vitamin D. But I need 25 to 35 minutes to make same amount of vitamin D. And you may ask why? Because of my color. I am more brown and they are more light. We go back to same Africa. Africa, that part of the world is tropical in nature. They are exposed to more sunlight. So the melanin in your body that makes the color in me, the amount is very limited in pale people. So those people who were living in that place at that time, not much trees for cover. So they were exposed to too much ultraviolet rays from the sun. So the body has to create all this melanin in them to defend them from ultraviolet exposure. So the skin was darker and thicker for those people. But eventually those people from that part of Africa migrated to the northeastern part of Europe, gradually all the way up to the northern hemisphere. What happens? In Africa, the tropical area, you get all the sunlight. Your body has to defend from sunlight. But when you go up to the north, you don't have enough sunlight. There, the melanin decreased in the body, so that whatever you get, the very limited amount of sunlight you get, is going to be used for creating vitamin D. So people who migrated up north lost the melanin or the darker skin and became more and more light skin. So the color has a meaning. There is nothing wrong in talking about colors. The color means where you lived or your ancestors lived and they survived in that place. It's a reaction to the natural realities surrounded them. By changing the color, the melanin in creation in your body, you survived. We survived. And in northern hemisphere, with the light skin, they survived. Because if they lived there with the darker skin, they will get enough vitamin D and the whole thing will be done or finished. Same, the physical structure or the hair structure or the facial structure, it all changed based on the natural realities, natural challenges where people lived in different times. Whatever we have, we can see in us, it simply means that we survived. The marks of survival in us. Trinity. Again, take us to the same thing. That means the one substance, the mitochondrial DNA in us, all of us, the Y chromosome in all of us, take us all the way back to one and same ancestors. We look different, different features, different structures, as a response to the nature in which we lived or our ancestors lived. There is nothing wrong with dark color or pale color or light color or white color or all the variations in between. There is nothing wrong with having long hair or short hair or curly hair, whatever hair. There is nothing wrong with open wide eyes or closed eyes. There is nothing wrong with tall or short or big or I don't know, whatever. We are all related. We all come from same parents, same people, but we all survive. All those differences in us, on us, simply means we reacted, we responded to the changes in nature and we survived. But we all belong to that one family. The Trinity again, Father is Father, Son is Son, the Holy Spirit is Holy Spirit. So powerful the love that they are one. So powerful the mutual respect that they are three. We human beings, we should follow the Trinity because we have the same substance in every single human being living in this world right now, belonging to the same family of Homo sapiens, come from the same ancestors. We lived in many places, we changed, but we are one. That's what we have to understand today. The love and this understanding should unite us together, and then the differences is to respect, to be respected. The mutual respect, the individuality, the difference of each and every single human being should be respected. Let us follow it from the Trinity. Again, Father is Father, Son is Son, the Holy Spirit is Holy Spirit. Before incarnation, Jesus did not have a physical body. But we know 2000 years ago, Jesus, the second person, the Son, became a human being. And when he became a human being, he was born in Jerusalem, in that area, Bethlehem, of course, Palestine. His mother was Mary. So he took his body basically from his mother, because we know his father is God the Father. So all the physical features of his mother Mary, we can see in him. So he was a Jew. All the physical features of a Palestinian man, you can see in Jesus. After his death, after his resurrection, he is ascended and he is in heaven. His body is also in heaven. So when you get a chance to go to heaven, you will see Jesus with his body. And that body is the body of a Jew. Yes. That's how God wanted him to enter into the Jewish community and becoming a Jew. And he gives that body. There is nothing to worry about. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Because all this racial hierarchy has no scientific basis. It's a cultural reality. It is time to grow beyond that. It is okay to talk about colors. It is okay to talk about all these differences. Because if we don't talk about it, we don't understand it. But there is nothing wrong with any of the differences. It's all happened for our good. And it is time to appreciate it. It is time to appreciate our Creator, and it is time to appreciate the beauty of Trinity and learn from the Trinity so that we may live in our world that love of the Trinity that makes us all one. That mutual respect of the Trinity that help us to respect each and every single human being of our family, Homo sapiens, who live anywhere in the world, who may look different, but we belong to one family. We are all related. We should love each other and we should respect each other, because at the end, we all belong to Him who is our Father and Creator.